There's a moment every guy hits at some point. You text her more. You show up more. You try to impress, you try to chase, you try to prove you care, and somehow she drifts further away. It feels confusing, right? You're giving more but receiving less. You're reaching but she's retreating. Then one day you make one simple adjustment. Not a big move. Not a dramatic speech. Just a shift, right here in your mindset. And suddenly, everything about her response changes. Her eyes linger on you longer. Her tone softens. She becomes intrigued, almost like she can sense something new in you. She starts asking herself, what did he figure out? What changed? And here's the truth, it isn't manipulation. It's not a tactic or strategy to outsmart her. It's the core of grounded, calm, unwavering masculinity. The kind that requires no chasing. The kind that commands respect without a word. The kind she can't help but notice. Master this, and watch how she reacts. Welcome to Become Stoic. To our loyal subscribers, you are the heart of this brotherhood. If you're new, like, share, and subscribe. We dive into human nature and the psychology of female attraction. Let's get into it. 1. She pays attention the moment you stop placing her at the center of your universe, something powerful happens. Women can feel it when your world begins to spin around them, your time, your mood, your energy, your entire focus. At first it flatters her. Feels sweet, comforting, even exciting. But slowly, quietly, it kills the spark. Attraction fades where obsession grows. Respect slips when a man abandons his own life for hers. Seneca said it simply, needing nothing is true freedom. When you stop orbiting around her like she's the sun and return to your own purpose, your passion, your goals, her perception shifts. Suddenly you're not always there. You're not instantly reachable. You seem grounded, busy, fulfilled, with or without her. And this is where polarity comes alive. Curiosity replaces comfort. Attraction replaces certainty. She finds herself paying closer attention because you're no longer emotionally dependent. You're not living for her, you're living fully, and she feels it. A woman turns her focus toward a man who can breathe without her. A man whose life continues to move even when she steps back. 2. She pays attention the moment you start protecting your peace. Not by being rude. Not by shutting her out. But by choosing yourself instead of constantly trying to please her. The truth is, women don't admire the man who never says no. They don't feel secure with someone who avoids disagreement just to stay liked. And they definitely don't respect a man who sacrifices his identity just to keep things calm. A grounded man knows peace is not created through people-pleasing. Peace is created inside. It's built through discipline, self-control, and knowing what you stand for. Epictetus said it clearly, a man without self-mastery is never truly free. When you stop giving energy to drama, when you stop reacting with emotion to everything she does, when you stop bargaining with your own self-worth just to be liked, she feels the shift instantly. Suddenly, your calm becomes attractive. Your silence carries strength. Your boundaries have weight. A woman pays attention to the man whose peace cannot be bought with approval. A man who chooses his self-respect even when it isn't the easy choice. 3. She really pays attention when you become comfortable with space. Not threatened by it. Not shaken by it. Just calm in it. Most men panic the moment a woman pulls back. They double text. They call non-stop. They try to fix everything immediately, like closeness must be forced instead of allowed. But distance isn't the villain most men think it is. Distance is where she steps back and evaluates who you truly are. It's where your value becomes visible. Marcus Aurelius said it beautifully, the wiser you become, the less you depend on validation from others. So when you don't chase, don't interrogate, don't fall apart or beg for attention, she notices. Because a man who stays centered while she creates space is a man rooted in something bigger than emotion. He isn't moved by panic, he's anchored by purpose. And that calmness? It gets to her. It makes her question herself. It makes her see your worth in a new light. Suddenly she's wondering, why is he so composed? Why isn't he chasing? Did I underestimate him? Did I lose him? And those questions, those quiet little doubts, pull her back toward you stronger than chasing ever could. For she really starts paying attention when you expect respect. Not with shouting. Not with threats. Not with lectures or long speeches. Stoic men don't ask for respect, they embody it. It shows in how they stand, how they speak, how they move, and what they tolerate. Respect isn't something you chase, it's something you make undeniable through your energy, your standards, and the way you live. A woman notices when you're not a man she can push off balance. When you don't crumble under pressure. When you don't argue or beg for love. When you simply leave any space where your value isn't recognized. You don't negotiate your dignity. You don't bargain with self-worth. You don't cling where you're not respected. And that quiet strength hits her deeper than any speech you could give. It speaks for you louder than your voice ever could. A man who carries himself with self-respect becomes unforgettable, because his presence, not his words, demands attention. 5. She pays attention when you finally choose yourself. There is a shift that happens inside a man the day he decides his life is worth building. Not for validation. Not for approval. But because he knows he was made for more than chasing one woman's attention. A woman is naturally drawn to a man who values his time, his goals, and his journey. When you start taking care of your body, when you protect your mind, when you chase your dreams instead of chasing her, she feels that shift in ways you don't even need to explain. Women admire growth because growth is movement. They notice when you level up even if they pretend not to. They respect a man who evolves instead of staying in one place hoping she'll love him harder. And here's the twist. The more you improve, the less you wait for her to notice. You're no longer refreshing the phone, waiting for a text. You're busy becoming someone greater. Your progress becomes your confidence. Your discipline becomes your presence. Your self-respect becomes the message you don't need to speak out loud. And that's when she sees you, not as someone begging for her attention, but as a man building a life strong enough to stand on its own. She feels your value through actions, not words. She recognizes the difference between the boy who needed validation and the man who chose his purpose. Not because you demanded her respect, but because you grew into someone who earned it without asking. If there is one thing you carry with you from all of this, let it be this: she pays attention. Not when you chase her. Not when you bend over backwards to be liked. Not when you overgive, overtext, overprove, or overexplain yourself hoping she finally understands your worth. She pays attention the moment you start paying attention to yourself. The moment your focus stops revolving around her and starts returning home, inward. The moment you choose purpose instead of seeking approval. The moment you protect your peace instead of trading it for temporary validation. The moment you stop reacting emotionally to every pull and push of her behavior. Women feel that shift instantly. They respect the man who chooses growth instead of desperation. They notice the man who stands firm instead of chasing. They pay attention to the man who needs nothing to feel complete. Because when you stop begging to be seen, you start standing in your value. And when you stand in your value, you become someone she can't easily overlook. She doesn't pay attention because you worked harder to win her. She pays attention because you finally remembered who you are. You transformed from the man seeking approval into the man who doesn't need it. And that, more than words, more than effort, more than pursuit, is what every woman notices first. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. You don't want to miss out on more fun and educational videos on this channel. This channel is for you, so make sure you subscribe.